Plenty of investors are buying the dip in the market after the DeepSeek news came out, but could there be further to fall? Here to break down how long the ripple effects might last is MarketBeat analyst Thomas Hughes. Thomas, this is one of the craziest Mondays the market has seen in a while.
Well, right. The DeepSeek news sent a ripple of fear throughout the tech industry, just kind of raising the question of, do we really need to spend as much money has been spent so far on AI? And the market sold off pretty hard. But I would like to remind everybody that Nvidia and Microsoft and Amazon, all of the stocks that were the most impacted, are also amongst the most heavily bought stocks in the market, the most owned stocks in the market. So when this news came out and people went to sell their stocks, there really weren't very many other traders or investors available to do the buying. And so that's why the market sold off as far as it did. And the question now is, when will it rebound and how strong the rebound will be?
Well, just how far did the market dip Monday?
Well, Nvidia, I think it fell a little more than 20% at the low of the session, but it closed with a loss of about 17%, which is its biggest loss in history. It knocked it out of the first position for market cap. It's now only the third largest stock. Still pretty big, but it was a very significant discount that was put on the market.
And that's why today a lot of people are seeing this as a buying opportunity. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But first, Thomas, let's get into a little bit more about why Nvidia dropped so much, all because of this company that really no one had heard of until Monday.
Well, right. So the thing is that DeepSeek created an AI large language model that's outperforming the best models on the market today. So it's got better performance. They claim that it was created for about $6 million, which is a very low number compared to the figures that are being tossed around by these big US AI companies today. So the question really is, do we need to spend all this money? Or the answer really is yes, because there's really a fundamental difference between what DeepSeek has done and what NVIDIA and the future of AI really is.
Let's talk about that difference a little bit more. There's a lot of people showing how DeepSeek works versus NVIDIA. What's the real key differences there?
Well, right. So the DeepSeek advancement is an advancement in software. Now, NVIDIA is working on AI software, but its grounding is really in the infrastructure and the hardware. Now, we need to understand that DeepSeek and the other Chinese-based AI companies are being constrained by the availability of NVIDIA chips. They can't buy our chips anymore. So what they're doing is they're working together. There's a lot of collaboration, a lot of open source quality to the work. So DeepSeek says that, it's made this advancement and it only cost $6 million, but it's really hard to say how much money really went into that knowledge when it's been getting information from other AI players in the industry. Now, the real opportunity for NVIDIA is that people say this is a good advancement in AI technology. They've made a very large step in advancing the power of the AI models. Now, what happens when we take that advancement and put it with NVIDIA's more advanced chips? That's going to be yet another advancement. The long-term play for DeepSeek and for China is to try to keep up with the United States' hardware and technological advantage. And right now, the outlook for that is very poor. There's not a lot of confidence that China will be able to keep up with not just the technology, but the build out of it, which is what's driving the AI market in the United States right now.
Yeah, and that brings up another key point with the stock market crash on Monday. A lot of people saying this is kind of an acceleration of what is becoming a technology war between China and the US. Is this DeepSeek announcement kind of a politically motivated move?
It certainly could be. There's no reason to doubt this possibility. China and the US have an escalating technological war. Right now, it centers on AI. China would really like to get NVIDIA's chips. If they can prove somehow that they don't need them, then that would be a bonus for them. But as I was saying before, it's really doubtful that they'll be able to make those kind of advances anytime soon.
Now let's get to the buy the dip right now. Nvidia, again, it's the biggest drop this stock has had in history. Is now the time to buy, or is there still so many unknowns about the impact of DeepSeek that this stock could fall even further?
Well, it does look like a good time to buy the stock, but I will say that because of the depth of the move and the fact that the market is below some critical moving averages in the middle of a trading range, there is a possibility that the sell-off could continue over the next couple of weeks or months just as people reposition. But I think the long-term outlook for the stock is still very bullish. The analysts are very bullish on this name, so I would expect it to maintain support at the low end of this range, if not at its current lows, which are just the day after the stock price sold off.
Yeah, analysts have always been bullish on Nvidia for quite some time, and for good reason. But now that we have this new player on the market, do you expect analysts to kind of reevaluate their take on Nvidia, taking in this new news about DeepSeek?
Well, the first analyst response has been to pan the news. They're just not that interested in it. Wedbush, JP Morgan, and Cantor Fitzgerald have all come out with comments about how the sell-off was overblown. Nvidia's position is still very sound. They've all reiterated their ratings and their price targets, and they're looking for a 40 to 66% upside over the next 12 months, which would put the stock at a new high. That's pretty significant.
And are we seeing that already early on Tuesday as we're recording this? Are we seeing some people buying back Nvidia at this lower price?
Yeah, it certainly does look that way. The market opened with a small gain. It sold off. It tried to sell off at the open. It set a new low, but it bounced back pretty firmly. So we are seeing some buying and some support at Monday's lows. What we want to see is for that support just to remain present and to start lifting the stock price again. If we can get the market back above the 150-day EMA, right around the 125 level, then I think we'll be in pretty good shape and we'll see Nvidia start to rise back up to its all-time highs.
So analysts and you seem to be bullish on Nvidia continuing to reach those new all-time highs. What about this company makes so many people believe that even with new competitors coming to the scene, this company still has a strong future ahead?
Well, one of the reasons is the balance sheet and the cash flow. The surge in data center sales and revenue over the past 2 years has significantly impacted the cash flow and the earnings on the balance sheet. The cash position has doubled a couple times in the last few years. Right now, it's net cash relative to total liabilities. It's got plenty of cash to invest in what it's doing and to reinvest into new technologies and continue to drive this AI cycle.
So, Thomas, let's just end this conversation today with what investors should be prepared for in the next few days and weeks around NVIDIA and all of these big tech stocks. Do you foresee the road ahead to be shaky for a few more days or weeks even? Or do you think this is going to be a really short-lived reaction to the news kind of event in the market?
Well, I think that we could see volatility for the next few days, up to a few weeks. Right now, it's the end of January. NVIDIA's earnings report is due out the end of February. I would expect the earnings report to affirm the outlook for the stock and to lead analysts to reaffirm their targets and to accelerate the rebound in the share price.
Some great information today, Thomas, as always. There's going to continue to be a lot of talk around AI, like you said, for the next few days and weeks. If you want to look at some other AI stocks that have also been impacted but have a bright future ahead, check out this free premium report on the 10 best AI stocks for 2025. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get that full report on marketbeat.com. It's been a wild ride this week. There might be more to come, but we will be here for all of it. Thank you so much for joining us here on MarketBeat. And as always, happy investing.